Welcome to the NeuroVerse. My name is Matthew, and this is my story. Hello there. Welcome to NeuroVerse. I'm Matthew, and I founded NeuroVerse, and this is my wonderful wife, Helena.
Hello.
This series of episodes will be around my particular story. And it's a bit weird to interview yourself, so my wonderful wife has agreed to interview me. There's going to be no revelations really. For her, we've been together like 20 years, but yeah, I will hand over to the hostess with the mostess, my wife Helena.
Hello there. Bear with me. It's my first time sort of broadcasting myself on the internet ether, but I will give it a go and I'm sure I will get better with time. So it's all good. So I guess first off, it'd be great to talk about why you're here, why you created the NeuroVerse, what's driven you to that, and just what's really brought you here today.
Well, what's brought me here today is I live here. This is my living room.
Thanks. I'll have my coffee now.
My legs brought me downstairs. So, as I said, my name is Matthew. I am a husband. I am a dad. I am an uncle, and those are my favorite titles ever. I'm also a brother. I'm a son. I'm a colleague. I'm a friend. I'm an acquaintance to people. So that's me, really. I'm various things to different people. Why I wanted to found NeuroVerse. I am neurodiverse. I have two different neurodiverse conditions. I have dyslexia and I'm also on the autistic spectrum. And when I received my diagnosis almost 5 years ago, it was a confusing. It was clarifying, it was confusing, it was validating, it was all of those things all at the same time, but it was also really, really lonely. When I got my diagnosis, I told a few people, and some people expected how I expect them to react. There were some people that were like, yep, could have told you that. There were some people like, I don't care. There are some people that were like, oh, right, okay, no worries. And then kind of conversation trickled off and there was nothing. So some people that were our quote unquote friends were no longer our friends. There was people then that treat me differently in different aspects of my life.
They make people feel a bit awkward.
Yeah.
I can't explain it, but
yeah,
that awkwardness when you kind of say, oh, I have autism, even not even saying it as ASD, you tell someone you have autism and it just brings like a weird silence or just...
yeah.
It
is because beforehand, like, I used to come with a caveat with people when people used to kind of introduce me to like their friends or like we'd be invited to someone's wedding. You was never a problem. It was always a case of be careful what you say to him. If you ask him for an honest opinion, you fucking get an honest opinion. And you can't be annoyed when he gives it to you. Is what you've asked for. I didn't like the fact I came with a caveat. And
it's Marmite because you really hate Marmite.
I hate Marmite. It's disgusting. But yeah, it was lonely. And there's not a lot of support out there for people who are adults newly diagnosed. There's next to no support networks available for people who are partners of that we looked at and we continue to look for. So that's why I wanted to try and set this up. I wanted to make sure that there was a space free of judgment for people to be able to go and say, listen, I'm I've got some challenges. This is a problem for me, and for other people to go, yeah, I have the same thing. This is what I do to try and help get better at it, or my husband's driving me nuts because he decided to wake me up at 2 o'clock in the morning to watch a trailer for something he was really excited about. I've never done that. And there needs to be. It's okay to talk about the challenges. I think people are like, oh my god, it's great. You're not just me, even though I am, but I say, no, you're a wonderful person. This is great, and this, that, and the other. There are challenges that come with these neurodiverse conditions, and it's okay to talk about the challenges. I don't think it's good or healthy to dwell on the challenges, but there are challenges, and if less they're talked about, and we shine a spotlight on the monster under the bed, then we can't deal with it.
That's something I think I've always struggled with, is talking about it with people. I'm very good at keeping my personal life very personal, my work life. I've always been very good at separating myself and lots of different parts of myself. So actually, I don't talk to many people. Like, I give a very nice front that everything. I'm a very smiley, bubbly person, but actually, I keep my personal life very private to a very select few, I think. And that's the way I've dealt with it. I'm not saying it's the right way.
No, but then history also tells us, because when we talk to people about it, that people left their lives. Yeah. So you naturally start to kind of shut down and close off a little bit.
People got very deflective. I think when we tried to talk about it, it was and then nobody wanted to talk about it.
Yeah.
It was
it was almost like a fake kind of social acknowledgement. All right, okay, and immediately let's change the subject because this conversation makes people awkward. So you'll hear me say it potentially in my story, but definitely when I'm talking about to other people in their stories as well, is that I think we need to be more comfortable in the uncomfortable. The only way to destigmatize what people think of and try to kind of remove any barrier, to help remove barriers. I don't think we're going to remove barriers on our own. It's a collective thing, but I think this is a positive step in the right direction to doing that. But it's unless we start kind of talking about it, highlighting things, challenges and achievements, because just because you've met one person with autism doesn't mean to say that person is a spokesperson or a representative for that entire group. Same with ADHD or dyspraxia or dyslexia, dyscalculus. I don't know, just Wingardium Leviosa, all of them. It doesn't mean to say you're a spokesperson, you're an expert on it. I'm not an expert on neurodiversity. I'm an expert on myself and my condition to date. But it's ever evolving. I'm still learning things about myself, and the fact that because I was so late being diagnosed with both dyslexia and autism, it means that along the way there was coping mechanisms and things put in place that I didn't realize that I did, or I didn't realize the reasons as to why I was doing it. So I'm trying to relearn myself as well.
I think it's when you're going through it yourself, you just assume everyone else is the same. Like the things that everything that you challenge with, you just assume everyone else has similar challenges with, but it's not like that. It's until you really find out about it and realize, actually, no, that's not what everyone else doesn't have to try so hard to fit in for this sort of standard. I think.
Well, we'll talk a little bit more about kind of my work history and stuff. But before, in a past life, I worked as a relief support worker for a very short time for the National Autistic Society, and it was by far the most rewarding job I've ever had. And before I joined there and undertook training, it was very much don't sue me, Disney, but it was like a whole new world. You thought that it was a case of you thought that it was a very similar. You have your extremes, but everyone has the same type of triggers. Everyone doesn't like this. But then the more you start learning, the more you realize it's more nuanced, and it's like if you have one neurodiverse condition, chances are you probably have more than one, and then you have kind of those blends then that kind of they work together to enhance certain parts if you're lucky enough to have, but they're also there, and they they cripple you as well in other areas. And you'll find as well that I'm not very eloquent. I'm quite blunt in some of the things that I'm saying. So I do apologize if anything I do say comes across as a bit blunt or a little bit thing. My intention is not to offend. At the same time, my intention is to try to just set a bit of a spotlight.
I know you've said to me sort of behind the camera you want to be your kind of true self in this and not put your mask barriers up and things like that, which is hard to do because you get so used to it. Even though I know when you're at home, it's your most comfortable place, but you're still having to exert a lot of energy to be who you need to be. Because we have our son and there's just a lot of expectations and
and everyone does it to a certain degree. Everyone does it. You go to work, you put your professional hat on. You if you're a partner, you got your partner hat on. You got your parent, you got your mum or dad hat on. But unfortunately, then when you have neurodiverse conditions, there's a number of other hats then you have to put on. But unfortunately, the ones you got to put on to make other people feel comfortable. And
this is our home. This is our
yeah.
This is as much as you're going to get as our kind of what we like to do, how we like to be, and our sort of our comfort zone. I think this is.
Yeah, I mean we're filming this now on a Sunday evening because we both work full time.
Yeah.
On top of my neurodiverse conditions, I've also got a degenerative disc disease. I currently got a number of slip discs, and that impacts my mobility quite heavily, and more so in the last few years. I'm sat like this because it stops the pain running all the way down my leg, so it's just stopping at my knee right now. So that's why I'm sat right here, because I can cope with that a bit better. But outside of that, we work full time. We practice martial arts as a family. I can't kick as high as I used to, nor sometimes can I walk. So my classes are sometimes centered around stretching and trying to do what I can. Last year, I attended 5 classes for the whole year. But I'll talk about hobbies and interests in another time, and kind of what they mean to me and what they can mean to people with neurodiverse conditions. We're busy. Yesterday we went to TechnoQuest. We're a family. We had to help their friends with wedding stuff, and then today we spent time as a family. We played on the Xbox with our little boy. We're a family. We're doing this on a Sunday evening because it's an important thing for us to do. But we're busy. We do things.
So we're not experts in any sense of the imagination at all. But I guess the thought is, if something that is spoken about resonates with somebody and maybe helps them a little bit to think that it's okay, there's other people going through that, makes you feel like it helps with something. And if we're in your future episodes, if we talk about things that you find support you, it's something that maybe somebody else hasn't really ever thought about, and it helps them. And just be able to say hi to somebody who's says hello and kind of understands what we're going through as well. It's just building that connections between people where they didn't feel like they had any.
And I've said, and I've said to you a million times leading up to this, of course you've retained everything that I've mentioned, because it's not that I haven't gone on about it at all. But the reality is that we felt lonely. At times it's still lonely. But if one story, if one person can resonate with one part of a story, and they can at least feel like, oh, right, it's not just me. It's not going to solve the problem for them, but at least it'll reduce that feeling of loneliness, which is its own disability, in my opinion.
I agree.
So that's a little bit about me, and why we're doing this. So I hope you'd like to watch more. If you do, then please hit like, subscribe, Or yeah, apparently that
buttons
YouTubers do this
everywhere.
thing where they like post like tiles somewhere, like, oh, click here for the next episode. But I don't know how to do that.
No.
No idea how to do that. So I'm just gonna say, please like, subscribe. Um, if there's anything you'd like to cover in maybe in a future video outside of my story, our plan is to talk about topics as well outside of other people's stories. I'm hoping to have people from different professions talk about neurodiversity in their workplace and how they perceive their experiences, but also from their professional aspect around neurodiversity. I also want to talk about some maybe taboo topics as well, some things that people don't like to talk about, because I want, like I said, I want to be able to shine the spotlight under the bed and see the monsters we're trying to deal with. But yeah, hopefully you'll join us and follow us on the journey. But thank you for interviewing, the beginning of the process. Thank you for watching, wherever it is you've watched and however it is you've watched it. If there's something you'd like to say, comment below, because there's always below. And we'll see you in the next episode. So yeah, thank you.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.